By the way, everyone, I am recording to the cloud. Both Roque and Noble record with Eric, so that'll be posted later in very poor quality. But it's okay. It's just so we can have a record. And I also wanted to let everybody know that I'll be doing some more, like I mentioned in the last couple of videos I've posted, we'll be doing some more online, like live streaming, hopefully some live video stuff as well. And I'm going to be starting to do some teaching with a bit of material that I developed. That's a combination of what I do at kalanidas.com, which for those of you who don't know, I have a whole set of podcasts and some recordings over there and some writing about mindfulness, which I actually call thoughtfulness. But anyway, it doesn't matter what you call it. But there's a whole bunch of teaching over there that I'm going to start to combine with what I do here on World Drum Club, just to not have so many different places where things are being presented. So I'm going to bring some of that material in, and that's called music mindfulness. I did a presentation November of 2019 at the Percussive Arts Society conference called Music Mindfulness. And like what Rocky said about, using music to inform our life and help us, live to our full potential and live in a way that's maybe a little easier or a little more satisfying, more gratifying, or with more gratitude. The music mindfulness teaching is aimed at that as well. And it's essentially asking the question, how can the mind or experience of the musician inform my choices and the way I live and the way I am in my life? So I think that's a really exciting question, and we have some answers. And there is the man. All right. Is Eric, you ready, man? Are you ready? All right. Let's get, I think are you, I almost said, is you Mike unmuted? Okay. So I'm going to ask you to unmute, and then we're going to go with Eric, man. I'm so happy.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Before we start, man, I just have to say one thing. You got to love it.
Oh, I gotta love it. You gotta love it. Oh my God.
That's the end of my Eric Perez impersonation right there. You got to love it.
Oh man.
Welcome.
Man, welcome. Everybody, thank you guys for being part of this. Seriously, it's awesome to talk with you guys. I was listening with Raquel, man, she's amazing. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Yeah. I'm here like I was like, let me try to do this real quick. Couldn't. I need to take some lessons. My goodness.
You and me both, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I think everybody knows you, Eric, but just, what's going on? I'm going to ask you the general question. How are you? What's going on? What are you up to? What are you excited about?
I'm still trying to show a little bit that I know little by little. Me and my family are doing well. My wife and my son just stepped out, so I'm not at least gonna have my son come here and knock the camera down and all that stuff. But yeah, what am I excited about? I just got some new drums, as you guys can see behind me, and these are Moperk handmade drums, and it's like I've never experienced that, like where I felt inspired to just play, play on some drums just because of everything that I'm getting back. It's just awesome, man. So I'm excited to have these, to own these, and to kind of I think you made a video about it too when you explained your SOS drums, just the process, the beauty, the art behind it, and how that sound is just that sound. I'm excited to share my journey through it, and how these are great tools, because everything's still, just a tool.
Yeah, but to have the craftsmanship, I mean, to me, that's the big difference, right?
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
the fact there's great factory drums out there. I mean, of
Oh
course, I mean,
yes, absolutely.
but it's a different thing. This is a different thing we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So where are the Moperks made, and who what? So can you show? They're kind of blurry back there, but I mean, I'm sure you'll have them on your channel.
Oh,
But
oh man, yeah. So I actually just yesterday I did a sound demo of them, but these are made in Quebec,
mm,
Canada. So I'm just saying, like, this is unbelievable, man. It's just,
mm-hmm.
yeah. So just the feel, these are ash solid staves, so they're not steam bent as well. So the processing is just, a whole different way than what, a lot of other companies do. And these are very special, man, because they have my name on it. So
Oh, hey,
yeah, so they have my name. They say A Percussion Life, and then yep, made in Canada. So the founder, his name was Michel Willette, and I think about 3 years ago, a guy by the name of Francis Mercier, who was basically Michel's apprentice, took over the company, and has really been doing great things for the last 3 years, and kept that you know same spiritual essence and art, and you know detail and everything that Michelle did. And it's just awesome. I don't know, I'm excited. I'm seriously excited to just keep on playing these drums. So
and you got four.
yes, I have four. This is a 10-inch requinto. I have a 11.75-inch conga, 12.5-inch tumba, and then a 13-inch super tumba, you could call it. But yeah,
Nice.
that's yeah.
That is awesome. Well, that's fantastic, man. And by the way, I love seeing if you guys haven't seen Eric's video on, shoot, what's it called now? Types of drummers or something.
So I have two. It's a type of conga players and type of bongo players. And
Oh,
man, it's
okay.
just
Types of conga players. I think I saw, but your son makes a cameo in there, and he's really cute.
oh man,
But that was
hilarious. That
really
kid.
fun. If you guys haven't seen Eric's, that's like a show. It's like watching Saturday Night Live or something. I laughed out loud several times.
Oh man. And what's hilarious is that, like, I had people message me like, why are you making fun of me? And like, I'm like, dude, if you can't make fun of yourself, if you can't make fun of like the way you are, then why we here? It's because a lot of people kind of took offense of the you too young guy, right? The
Oh,
old
really?
school. Yeah, I'm like, but have we not all crossed with the person that doesn't play, hasn't played for years, but yet critiques how you play and
Yeah,
says you don't
yeah.
even know anything? So it's like, and I love those people because they keep you in line. But at the same time, it's like, man, we gotta love everything, the whole process, and how this whole journey kind of, it is funny. It really is funny when you start to think about it.
Well, and it's like any stereotype, right? We all can stereotype in a humorous way, but
Yeah,
it wouldn't be funny if there wasn't some truth behind it, right? I mean, that's the
exactly.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
I just thought it was super creative, and I mean, just the fact that you can, in that sort of, I guess, Vine style, have all these conversations with yourself and play different characters and just think about all and put that all together. I mean, that's a lot of work editing. I know.
Yes, and that's what's crazy. They're like, "Oh man, this is funny." I'm like, "Yeah, it took me about like 4 months, to write the script, because it was an actual script. Like, you have to know how you're gonna say, where to pause, so then
Yeah.
when you're gonna do the other character, how that goes into play. Like when I was announcing that I was gonna get these drums, and I called it the Switch, I did something like that, and I was conversating with myself as like the audio engineer, and I'm like, that took a long time just to make sure everything's lined up and it makes sense. And I think that's something a lot of people don't get. At least, I mean, even for yourself, like I don't know if you edit all your stuff, but it's like, aside from teaching and trying to help the community, the work that people do not see, like I laugh, you know, I laugh when people say, oh, it's just easy to just make a video. No, it is not, it is not easy at all to do that.
No, I mean yeah, and I do all my own stuff. I wish I had a staff. I mean, that's
right. Like somebody said, why can't you hire? I'm like, do you know? You don't know. Like, you don't know what it is you're trying to really like, and everything that you do get as a return, you put it right back into it to just improve the experience for the viewer, for you that are that is learning, you know, what we are trying to share, you know. And I think that's, you know, it goes unnoticed a lot, man. And you know, so when I, you know, see people like yourself, I'm like, man, like you said, a staple, you know, green screen and everything.
except, well, thank you. But and you know, of course, I mean, it takes a lot of work and money to and maybe we can answer some questions for people that might want to make a video or make a
Yeah.
recording. But you know, you gotta having good audio gear and good video gear is not cheap. I mean, this stuff
Nope.
is expensive. This thing,
Oh my gosh.
you know,
Oh
and
my
this isn't
gosh.
even super high end, but you know, there's, you know, but the quality to make a video that looks good and sounds good, and you know, it takes some investment. So yeah, I know some people get it and appreciate it, but with today's world of like you can shoot on a smartphone and you can make okay videos on a smartphone, but I'm not sure people really understand what it takes to make good audio, like just to make a
And
good sounding recording
and a
of
lot of
anything.
times, like hold on, let me see, I have it here, hold on. I started this channel with this right here. It's
Yeah,
beat up, it's like it has scars in it, and I still use it. Like, you, my thing is just, if you have an idea, if you have something that is worth sharing to the world, even if you get 10 views, that's 10 people that saw something that can help the community. And I think all of us have something to share for the world, you know. And the
yeah,
more people that know, the more people end up appreciating this community, you know, hand drumming, all that, man. Like, man, like I want to talk, you know, to Rakai, because I want to learn. I want to do all that craziness too, you know. It's amazing.
yeah. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't really, at the end of the day, the video quality, it's not the most important thing.
Correct.
However,
Yes. However,
when you do end up investing, I mean that's a whole nother level. Yeah, and then the editing part, the hours of video editing and getting the audio right and all that. Anyway, it's you know that's a topic that you know it is good to talk about. And like I said, maybe if people have questions on that, that's fine. A
most
couple
definitely.
comments. Patrick said the sheet for about the Moperks. Uh,
Oh man,
Raymond says
yeah.
welcome to the Moperk family. I mean, maybe you can see these too. I guess it's just in the chat, but yeah. I guess Raymond's playing. Raymond, are you playing Mo Perks? Are you on Mo Perks too? Yes, you got him over there. Now I want some. Oh, there we go. Nice. Yeah, and oh, yeah. Some Patrick is asking, how hard is it to play your characters without people around you physically, since you put a lot of energy and time? Like, yeah, I mean that's almost like an acting thing, right? So.
Yeah, so what I do is, one, I have to like not be distracted. So I try to do it when like my wife and my son are sleeping,
Mm.
and I'll be down here, and because I have lighting, you know, I can make it look like any time of day, as bright as possible if I needed to. But you know, I go into it knowing that I don't want to be just like a tutorial channel as well. I want us
Mhm.
to, be a place where we could all hang out and have fun and learn at the same time. At the same time, crack jokes. And so I know these characters because I've been playing percussion since I was 7 years old. So it's like I could immediately reference a moment in time where I played. Like I'm currently working on like type of timbal players, right? And there's always that type of timbal player that's like has to count it off, and they're just always doing this, like if they're conducting everything, and they're just there, doing stuff, and they're like, are you ready, are you ready, like, so it's these things that you just channel and try to express it the best way that you can, and at the same time kind of like understand what the end goal is, and it's just really to try to make somebody's day, make somebody laugh, and say, oh, I think I am that person.
I think it's funny that when people, like, we call that ideas of reference or something. When somebody, like, if somebody hears people laugh, right, and then they say, "You laughing at me?"
Yeah.
Right? You laughing at me? Like, it's interesting to me that those people would have thought that you're talking about them, because
Hmm.
obviously something about them relates to that character, and then they feel self-conscious about it. But like, if you think that's about you, why do you think that's about you?
Yeah, what's funny is at least specifically for the type of conga players, there's one that just brings all the equipment, right?
Right. That was so
Brings
funny, man.
500 drums. That was
Yeah.
me. The gig that I probably wasn't even getting paid for, I would still bring 5 drums. I would bring an extra shaker, even though like
Yeah.
anything. And they're like, why are you like, why? And I'm like, I could play better, and so I was that person. So it's like,
Yeah.
making fun of myself too. And, it is what it is, though. I love it,
Oh,
man.
yeah. I was the drummer who had to have the Neil Peart drum set when I
Oh
was in
my
high
gosh.
school. And I did, and it was ridiculous because I wasn't even that good of a player. I mean, I would
Mm,
cringe if I heard myself playing now, back then. But whatever. Yeah. I mean, we're excited. Gear is exciting. I mean, and gear is fun, right? It is
mm-hmm.
fun to have drums and new things and
Yeah.
everything. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm all about what you're doing on your channel. I think it's great, and it also is. It just makes it fun to watch and learn at the same time.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate that because the quality of the music is there and the quality of the instruction, and I love that you're doing a lot of stuff that people can use. I mean, all of the tumbals, like,
Hmm.
that's so useful. It's like a library of tumbals, which we need in the community,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and
well, sorry to interrupt, but it's just
no, no.
like, alongside not just teaching about the tumbals, I like to let people know just briefly about who did it,
Well, that's what I was
and
gonna say. Yeah.
yeah, and why that's so important. And I think that's something that, like, I took music history in college, and I've, music or history in general at times can be viewed as boring, right? Especially when you have somebody, well, in this Baroque period, and it's, it could feel like I don't need to know this, right? But when, like, I'm personally very passionate about that, and when I hear that this person did this, and because they did that, we all have this today, like, how does that not excite you to want to discover it? And I think it gives deeper depth and meaning to why you're playing and what you're playing and what you're putting it into. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, it just makes what we do even more special,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why, that's why I do it, I just love sharing that. And those are people, like, in those videos, people are always like, can you just like play the tumbao, and can you just go? And I'm like, I wish you would understand, like,
Yeah.
it, yeah, I could teach this to you right away, but what I'm teaching you, then you are going to receive something so empty,
Right.
I'd rather give you not just a cup, I'd rather give you it, with water, where it can kind of help you figure out, because then you could refill that cup rather than just having a cup, so.
Yeah. And so to me, what I would say is you're contextualizing things, um, and you're putting the why with the
Hmm.
what, right? A
Yeah.
lot of the times people just want the what. Just show me what it is, right? But you're
Yep.
saying no, there's a why behind it
Yeah.
or a how, right? And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, I super excited about that. Like when you're, I mean, a lot of people now, of course, they are young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're
Yeah.
too young, but
Yeah.
they are young. And so they don't know who Tatawines is, right? Or they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know Pataro
Yep.
Valdez or these players. And I wouldn't have known unless my teacher made us listen to tapes and showed us videos and said, "Hey, check this dude out. Check this guy out. You know, watch this video." And my friends weren't. We were all copying like Cuban TV shows, right?
Yeah.
Where these groups Los Van Van and
Yep.
Educator would be on TV and
Mm.
they would make a video and they would bootleg it out of Cuba and we would
Yep.
get a hold
Yep.
of it, right? So fortunately, like we don't have to do that now because we got the internet. But if people like you and other teachers don't bring that stuff forward, it's just gonna get lost. It's gonna stop. So I really love that you're doing that and putting a name with a rhythm and telling people
Yeah.
who's out there, who's doing what, and
Yeah, and it's surprising and it makes me happy as well because a lot of people I've never heard of this person and I'm like that's great, listen to their music, listen here, look them up on YouTube. That's the benefit. Like I always encourage people to get a teacher, invest in a teacher, that can help you out, but we have this resource and use it to your advantage the best way that you can, and if it's to find how to do something, like I learned how to mount all this stuff behind me because of YouTube. So it's like you can learn things and that's an advantage, but at the same time it's like never neglect, trying to get somebody to teach you the way, but it's exciting, man. I love this journey. I love that people are learning from it. I love being here with you guys and you guys are a hope learning something from me because it's not.
we are, and we do have a couple specific questions.
Okay.
So somebody said, "Does Eric have a preferred or specific four note tuning combo for your congas? Like, do you have something you like preference or?"
Yes. So for my main, if I'm playing more popular music like salsa or even some funks, I'll tune that to a C, any day. And my tumba normally, or whatever is to my dominant side, I will put that as a G.
Mhm.
Now, I normally play three, or if not two, but if I do three, that's where I kind of get creative depending on the type of music that I play. Sometimes I'll make it a B and sometimes I'll make it an F. And it doesn't make any sense at all. But to me, just that kind of difference makes, and also like breaking the rules. Sometimes I won't tune to a note. If
Mhm.
if it's what I like to hear, then I like to hear it. If I like a C sharp, I'll do a C sharp, then there's, to me, be creative. I understand there are standards to things, but at the same time, what makes you is what you feel like playing. And sometimes people just want your sound and they want your tone. And if your tone comes out and you're playing an F on your main drum, hey, you know, play an F, and nobody's really going to be like, hey, I don't think your congas sound great. If you're playing and you're accompanying and you're doing your job, most of the time, nobody will really, notice, like nitpick. Nobody's going to go mid gig and be like, I don't think your main drum's tuned to a C. I think you need to change that. No, it almost never happened.
Well, and if you're on a pop gig, you're not going to be in the main house speakers anyway.
Is that's the truth, it's the truth. They were like, who's that guy just moving their hands? I'm like, yeah, I'm just here just dancing or something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because that's why you're there, just so they can have a percussionist on stage.
Yeah.
They're like, the bride's mother wanted a percussionist because she saw Gloria Esteban when she was at the casino, and she really wants
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
But what about four drums? Do you go for like a chord-ish, or I mean, I don't know. I think you did answer the question, but I don't know if people want to know, like, do you
Yeah,
tune
so
to a
it really
chord?
depends. I'll do like I'll always start off if I'm doing something with notes and I'm doing something where um I want to tune, like if we're recording, I absolutely will tune to a note, and I'll actually listen to the song and work with whoever and say, hey, I feel like tuning like this. They won't know, they always refer back to you, like, what do you want to, and I'll ask them, what do you want, this or this? But normally I'm still at C and G. And then
Mm-hmm.
if I'm doing four, it depends what other two drums I have. Are those gonna just be more melodic, or am I gonna have something like a quinto or a quinto where I might just hit it, once in a while, just to add some color, then that I'll probably tune to an A,
Mm-hmm.
something bright, something a little bit high up there. Um, or sometimes I'll mix it up and I'll make my non-dominant hand, if I'm doing melody, make that a G and make a E for my dominant side, so I could at least, go here and then make it really low,
Mm-hmm.
when I play there. So again, it really depends. I love to experiment, it's something that I do, and I do recommend people doing that. Like if you're playing at home, um, and you liked how your drums sound, grab something to help pick up the closest note possible, hit it, and it may be close, but at least like, oh, I tuned this way, and it could
Mm-hmm.
try to, and save it, write it in your notes and say, oh, I tuned my drums this way. I love the way they sounded. Let me remember this and go back to it, and you'll be surprised like how many times you'll do that because you just fell in love with that sound.
Right. I want to add a couple things to this tuning conversation. One is really quick, and I've talked about this before, and that is if you tune your drums to the music, they will blend, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so they will, in a way, they will disappear into the music a little bit,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Which
Mm-hmm.
again is a
Which is
choice.
fine. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't tune to the track, they will pop out a little bit more. They will be more noticeable, but they will also not be in tune with the track. So
Mm-hmm.
it just depends what you want. And the other thing about tuning that I would say, and it relates to what you're talking about in terms of tune your drums to the way you like them, is that every drum is going to have a little range, right? Where
Yes.
it's going to be dead, low, and then it's going to come to life, and then it's going to be resonant, and then it's going to
Mm-hmm.
start to get choked out on on the
Mm-hmm.
high end, right? It's going to start to get super short, and maybe even just like where'd the tone go if you keep cranking it, right? And it could even
Yep.
get pingy or
Mm-hmm.
ringy. So that's also going to inform people's choices about tuning. Like you want to kind of go generally, right? You want to go for that middle third maybe,
Yep.
which may only be a range of like a third or a
Yep.
fourth,
Yep.
total. So you got to consider that too when you guys are tuning.
I think that's very important as well in regards to either blending in or popping out. It really depends as well if they want you to blend in or pop out.
Right.
Sometimes, by blending in, it is noticeable when you're probably not there, and it adds more body to the sound, to the whole song. Um, and that's what whoever hired you, or whoever asked you to record, whoever asked you to play, unless it's yourself, then you but but sometimes they don't want you to pop out, and that's okay, it's
Yep.
in because it's to the company of the music, and sometimes they do want you to pop out. They want to know, like, hey, we got live percussion, we don't have tracks, we don't have something that's machine made, we have somebody here hitting something, like, so it really depends, and you gotta experiment and experience both. I think that you'll see, like, wow, I'm playing along with the bass player and it sounds so good, and then there's times where, like, oh my gosh, they could actually hear me, and then it's really because of how you're tuning, and the expression of the music that you're making as well.
Yeah, exactly. And related to what Raymond asked Roque in the last thing about playing with a drummer, and I've talked about this too. I made a video called "Playing with
Mm-hmm.
a Drummer," It depends on, yeah, you guys, if you're tuning, and we're talking mainly congas here, but this could apply to anything, but
Yeah.
are you playing with just percussion, right? And so that tuning is going to be different than a drum set. If you're playing with a drum set, probably, right? Because if
Yeah,
you're playing
so
solo percussion, yeah, go ahead.
correct. So if, like, for example, if I'm playing with a timbal player and bongo player, I'm the drummer. You know,
Hmm.
I'm the one keeping that, you know, I'm not making any moves. I'm not doing any craziness. I'm the guy in the pocket, you know. Now, when I'm playing with an actual kit drummer, I have more freedom to kind of experiment, you know, and feed off what his sound is doing, you know. And at the same time, he's the guy, you know, I don't want to collide with. I don't want to, you know, mess up. So the way I approach, you know, playing with a drummer is a lot different than how I would approach playing with the timbal player, because, you know, with timbal and bongos, you could be call and response and it not affect the music, but you can't do no call response with the drummer and some funk and expect, like, you know, oh, it's gonna go like that the whole way. You know, it's gonna get weird, you know, after some time. But yeah, you know, it really depends also on the type of music. The group that I play with now, Tony Craddock Jr., co-front, um, you know, we do a lot of different, like, smooth jazz. We'll do some R&B funk, you know, and so we have to adjust, you know, how I, at least for me, how I approach um, who I'm, you know, the drummer that I'm playing with, who, eh, you know, and also chemistry, you know, like I've been playing with him for 6 years. So it's like, I'm going to feed off. I already know what he's going to do. I already know the kind of role he may do. So I know how not to collide with them. So it's, I think listening plays a big part into, um, you know, doing that. And rehearsals, man, like rehearsals, like that's where you take mental notes or note down, like, all right, I know he does this all the time here, you know, because look, we have to, at least for popular, you know, like funk, contemporary music, we have to take note, you know, percussionists, we're not the most important people, you know. We're the color, you know,
Yeah.
we're the nice little, you know, frosting on the top, you know, we're the cherry on top, we're the one that makes it even better. But we don't want to be the distraction. We don't want to take away from
Right.
everything else, you know, because then that will get you fired. That will get you fired faster than anything else.
It's true, and I think I've probably been that guy too, like where I just overplayed a little, or I can remember being on a gig and I hit, for some reason I hit this cymbal and it just, everyone in the band had dropped down. It was my first time playing with this band, and it was like with a singer, and I hit this cymbal, and it was like in this moment where everyone else had dropped down, and they actually, a couple of people actually turned around
Yeah. Oh my
and like
gosh.
looked, like what's he do? And
Yeah.
in that moment, you know, yeah, I'm not getting called back for this.
Yeah. I mean, and it happens. And I love it when it happens because it kind of humbles you, like, oh man, I need
Yeah.
to remember, you know, it's not about me, you know, or maybe I did too much, you know.
Or I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, which is even more important, you know, like it's just like you gotta not just enjoy what you're doing, you gotta see what everybody else is doing and be confident with what you're doing already, you know.
Well, yeah, and to that point, you don't want to be the guy that or woman that is like enjoying what you're doing so much that you're ruining it for ruining it for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause it's not about you. But
Hmm.
there's a question that Raymond had. He said, if you could jam out with one drummer, who would it be? That's a tough question,
Like a
probably, but
kit drummer,
I guess so. Yeah, is that a kid? Yeah, he said, yeah, kid drummer.
um Chris Coleman.
Hmm.
Chris
I,
Coleman
yeah.
is one of my favorite drummers. Right next to that is probably Aaron Spears and then Steve Gadd.
Mm-hmm.
um I mean, come on, Steve Gadd. But Chris Coleman, whom I think toured with Steve Gadd a little bit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know. He does old and new so well. And I think you could put him in any setting and he'll, you know, I think he plays with Beck, right? So it's like
Mm.
kind of drummer like Chris Coleman is playing with Beck. Like, have any
Yeah.
of you listened to Beck's music? Like, it's not like, you know, something that Chris Coleman would play with, but guess what? He fits in well. So it's crazy. I would love to probably, you know, jam out with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd probably just be just, what are you gonna do next? You know, he's just unbelievable. His tone, everything. I enjoy. I get inspired watching him play.
Yeah. And you know, there's a reason that some of these, you know, let's say the greatest drummers, right? The people, they have chops, but they end up with these big pop gigs.
Yep.
But why, right? You got to ask
Mm-hmm.
yourself, why is this person like Steve Gadd, you know, playing with like, you know, whoever,
Yeah.
uh Paul Simon or something.
Yep.
Um because he can lay down the pocket. He can lay down the
Yes.
groove.
And
It's about that.
that's look, man. Look, the groove is what pays, man. The pocket is what gives you money in your pockets. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
people understand that. Like I am grateful for learning a lot of technical things and sharing those technical things, but I always make an emphasis, like, it's not all about this. Like, the greatest conga players that have been on records, that constantly get calls, that constantly, are revered as the best recording musicians, gigging musicians, are people that are not even fast, but they can hold a tempo. They can literally, every tone be so well articulated that you're just there like, why am I studying doubles? Why am I trying to do a triplet when that nobody's gonna hire you for a triplet? Nobody's gonna hire you
Mhm.
for how many rudiments you know. They're not gonna hire you for that, because unless the music is all, rudiments, and that's the track, and that's the name of the song, the song is called Rudiments, they'll probably hire you, but the song is not about that. It's about a song. And what the gigs I normally play in, I get more calls for, non-Latin gigs and recording non-Latin stuff than anything else, because I enjoy like funk, and I could stay there. I could literally stay there and not interrupt anybody. And that's what helps me, keep on getting better and better, because, I'll be at home and people will ask me like, what do you practice when you practice? I was like, I'll
Mhm.
just put on the TV. Um, and try to follow the commercials, the music that they're playing to the commercials,
Uh-huh.
and try to get the tempo and play there and close my eyes, and that's it, whatever music is there. But that's what, and try to be creative with that, not doing solos. Soloing is great, but it's like, I want to be able to carry a groove the whole way and say, okay, I learned, okay, this sounds good, let's try that.
I love that. That's as an exercise. That's awesome.
Mm.
And it, you know, doing the turn on the TV, play with the TV thing. Not only are you getting some practice in, but you're learning how to respond and you know, listen and make quick changes to what you're doing and blend in. That's that's a great thing. And then maybe you'll see some stuff and then buy it, which would make the advertisers happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, people, like, nobody, like, wait, you yeah, I'm like, yeah, whatever show is there, I'll probably not watch it. I'll actually flip the channel to see what other commercials are on, because everybody's using music. And you know how, like, there's some of those like very depressing commercials where they're trying to sell you some sort of medicine, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to, or how can I play, like this, and of course it doesn't make sense. I would probably never use it, but it allows me to, and challenges me to, what can I do here, where I'm not soloing, I'm just trying to find something that could fit in, and then, yeah, just move on, and but it's different. It's a different way to practice. I do
Mm-hmm.
suggest it, for all of you guys. I don't think I've ever said that, publicly. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a great way to challenge yourself to, discover things about your playing, that way.
Right. Yeah. And identifying some of the places where we have weaknesses is super important. You
Mm-hmm.
know, whether it's a weakness or not, it might be a strength you discover, it might be a weakness you discover, it might be a bias that you discover, like, ooh, I
Yes.
don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get called for a gig, if people, I don't know how many people here want to actually do gigs with congas or any hand percussion. But if you ever do get a chance, yeah, this is all really good, good advice to prepare you for that. Deborah had a question, and she wants to know if you're familiar with 10-inch, 12-inch, 14-inch tumbao, tubanos, and how can we relate to conga set tuning in the classroom? So they have 10, 12, and 14-inch tubano drums, right? You know those are, right? They're
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
tube drums.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about tuning tubanos?
Yeah, I mean, so with me being more predominantly more a conga player, I'll always try to make anything sound like a conga. I don't care what it is. I'll try to tune my djembe to to how to, just because, you know, I'm just curious, you know. So I would approach it like, you know, the same way, G, C, the 10-inch probably like an A, or really high F, you know, something like that. But yeah, I think those are very interesting instruments, man, and I think they are important, very very portable as well. So if they're like in the classroom, like it's awesome, you know. You could, and I don't think they project as much as a conga, which makes it a little bit you know, harder to get certain sounds. But
Mm-hmm.
again, man, I would still try to I would still try to hit it like a conga, and try to make it sound like a conga either way. So
Yeah. So you could go for a chord like G C E
yep,
or
yep.
like F A C or F A D or something. Yeah. Yeah. And then your um, tubanos, of course, always have plastic heads or synthetic
Yes.
heads. So they tend to be a little ringy. I'm just adding this in there for anybody that's considering them. They do tend to be, you know, have that ring, which your video about the plastic versus the synthetic versus the versus cow skin, that was funny too, man. I love that. Like nobody wants to play you.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah. I
wants to
mean,
play you.
and this is something that
Uh,
I think people need to understand as well, like with like ringy, right? Those are,
yeah,
you know, we use these terms, right? Now, I don't like that ring, but you know, they're overtones.
yeah.
Every instrument in regards to at least hand drumming, unless you're playing on a box, you know, like you're going to get some sort of overtone. You're going to get some of that, and that's part of the sound. That's part of the drum. These drums are probably one of the driest drums I've ever played, but yet they still have some sort of overtone, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beautiful part of the drum is it's yelling, you know, it's trying to tell you something back, you know. And of course, synthetic skins or heads, they cause, you know, to ring more, you know. And for some people it's annoying, right? And I'm
Mm.
like, but the value of it, you don't have to maintain it as much. You don't have to um you know, take care or watch if you want to tune it so much, you know, like it lasts a lot longer. That better feels better on your hands, you know, where if you're playing a lot, um you know, and weather, you know, so there's
Hmm.
just a lot of advantages that we have that people in the 80s and the 70s did not have, that, you know, we're fortunate enough to have even synthetic you know, made drums, you know. And it's awesome because they're so lightweight, so portable, and there's no excuse now when people have like, oh, they're too heavy. I'm like, no, there's more options out there.
Yeah, and you can, like I would say, as a percussionist, you get an instrument and then you work with it. You know, so if you have a synthetic
Uh-huh.
head, and I used to use synthetic, I was so grateful for synthetic bongo heads on tour,
Mm.
right? Because you know, and you're in Georgia. Oh, you know, in the
No,
evening when that sun
I'm in
goes.
Maryland. I'm in
Oh, you're in
Maryland, and
Maryland.
it gets, hey, yeah, yeah, I'm in Maryland.
Oh, you're in Maryland. Okay.
Been in,
Why did I think you were in Georgia?
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I don't. Oh, Georgia? No, no, no.
So you know,
I'm in Maryland.
so you're in Maryland. So you got that East Coast humidity going on.
Oh, Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
so
yes. It's not even come June, July, August. It's not a game. Like it is so hot outside and it hits you. It's like you got out of the shower and it's
yeah.
hot shower and you're like, how are you gonna play? And then you're like, oh, I have synthetic, heads. It's a complete game changer for a
Yeah.
lot of people now. Yeah.
I before I had those synthetic bongo heads, I would be outside like on tour, and in an outside amphitheater, and I
Hmm.
would I would stretch my bongo head from like
Oh
this
my
much to like
gosh.
it would be like 3 inches stretching and stretching and stretching, but as soon as you put the synthetic heads on there, so I love them for that. For tubanos or congas where you get a ringiness, you guys, you can get little tape, you can put some moleskin on there, you can,
Hmm.
put something on the head here and there, maybe under on the bottom
Hmm.
side to get rid of some of those high harmonics. If you want, you can mute it because I'm just saying this. A lot of people that start with synthetic heads, like in a school with tubanos, they may not know if you want to get the conga sound. First of all, you have to know what the conga sound is, and a lot of people haven't played congas with natural heads, but that would be your standard, right? So
Yeah.
first you have to know what that sound is, and then you could move your tubano if you wanted to move them more towards a conga sound. At least that gives you a reference point, and then you could work with the tubanos, right? Like put something on the
Yeah.
head to kind of dampen it a little bit, and I think you'd end up with what I would consider to be a more conga-like sound.
Yep.
Less harmonics.
Hmm.
Yeah. What else we got going here? What else we want to talk about? What else you got that is happening with the Percussion Life channel? What can we expect coming soon?
Um, so I'm going to start really talking about um, the journey of handmade drums. I'm gonna start adding that into to some
Mm,
tutorials. Um, I'm gonna like really start incorporating more folkloric, patterns as well. Polyrhythms. I'm really
mm.
gonna start, getting into that. Um, and I'm gonna try eventually. I'm hoping, but I'm gonna release like a little beginner course for free, on A Percussion Life, like how I would have started if I could go back, you
Mm.
know, and do this all over again, how I would have started, something that I wish somebody would have told me. Um, and because it's intimidating,
Don't do
like
it.
a lot of
Don't do it.
yeah. Like it is intimidating
Yeah.
to get started on this, right? You
Yeah.
see somebody play, you think it's easy, then you try it and you're like, oh my gosh, right? And like the number one question I got is I still can't slap, right?
Uh-huh.
I still can't get a slap. And I'm tell people, I'm like, it took me 2 years
Mm.
practicing almost every day to finally have a sound that I could call a slap. And it still wasn't there, but
Mm.
I could say slap, and people don't know that, so like something that I wish I could have, had back then. So these are
Mm-hmm.
things that I do plan on doing. A lot of other stuff that, it's just crazy, Kalani, I'm grateful for you because you've been doing this for a long time, man. And I think I've been doing it consistently now for 3 years.
Mm.
And you know, I think you've been doing it for 9, right?
The channel?
Yeah,
I think 6 or 7. Yeah, but it's been a
six or
while. Yeah,
seven.
I
Yeah, I
think.
mean, it's like,
Yeah, 6 or 7 officially. But I
yeah,
was doing
and
stuff on my Kalani music channel before that. But I started World Drum Club like 6 or 7 years. I think
yeah,
2014.
and that's crazy. People don't
Yeah.
understand like this the journey. Like I bet you if you were to go back in the beginning, like, oh, what would I have done? And there's so much information out there, so much to share, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, the beauty about this is that I have stuff that I can constantly share with other people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It never ends. And it's really great to collaborate. Like I'm so grateful for your generosity and sharing. We doing cross channel collaborations and stuff. And I actually want to do more of that. I want to send you some. some tracks, and then you play a little, and then we get other people. Want to get William Garcia to play a couple things, and then I play a couple things, and we'll put it together. We'll have a little virtual,
Yeah, man.
have a little virtual band, and then we can,
Absolutely, man.
and then we can give each other. We'd be like, "Why are you bringing so many? Why you, why do you bring that? Why are you bringing so many things, man?
Oh
We
my
got like
goodness, yeah.
we got 6 shakers in here." Deborah had another question, real quick. Karen, maintenance of animal skins. What do you recommend to use when I am not using during the school year? Like storing and carrying. Is that right, Deborah? Like just putting the drums in storage and making sure they're okay. Is that? Yeah. Let me unmute Deborah for a second. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Deborah.
Yeah, I've been teaching world drums, all kinds of drums around the world. I started collecting them in 2004. And
Wow.
I've read many things about what you should or should not put on, the goat skins for djembe, the cowhide on the conga, all the different skins I have. And because I don't play them all the time. I want the skins to last a long time. I know they won't last as long as a Tubano. And Tubanos can actually, here in Oklahoma, they survived tornadoes. But anyway,
Yeah.
I want to maintain them and keep them. I have been using shea butter just a little bit, a couple times a year, but I just wanted to see what you had to say.
All right, good.
Coconut oil. Coconut oil is good too.
Mm.
I think there's a lot of controversy with palm oil, but palm oil was one that I used a lot before. And yeah, I would probably say coconut oil is probably one that I would go to.
My teacher, Jerry, one of my first teachers, Jerry Steinholtz, used to put hand lotion with lanolin. Lanolin is from sheep's wool, and it's a natural animal skin oil. And he believed that would be easily, absorbed into the skin. But you always want to, if you put conditioner on, you can put the lotion on the skin, let's say, and then leave it for overnight or a day, and then use a damp cloth and wipe off any excess, because you don't want to put oil and lotion on a skin and just like leave it and then start playing it again, because then it can attract dirt and gunkiness. So a little quick wipe with a damp towel, just to clean them up. And then I would say just don't let the sun hit those heads very much. That's also the sun it just dries out everything. The sun is pretty harsh. So I know in the classroom that's not usually an issue, but I'm just saying.
And also, like, if it's wood, like the type of room, make sure your temperature isn't, blistering hot, because that wood would die after that, so make sure like the temperature in the room isn't, really, really bad.
Yeah, going up and down a lot too, because if it goes cold and then hot, right?
Yes.
Like winter,
Oof.
summer, you're expanding and contracting, the heads are changing, everything's moving on that, because it is wood and natural skin, so it's going to move a lot, and then it's going to think, but that's what maintenance is, right? Maintenance is, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to tighten up all the little nuts on the inside of my drum shell today.
Yep.
Like, that's just something you might need to do every once in a while, So, yeah, that's a good lesson, everybody. It's like Zen in the art of motorcycle maintenance, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't just ride the motorcycle, you maintain the motorcycle. And so
Yeah.
you don't just play the bongo, you got to get in there, right? Especially that little center connector piece, right? We're always like, you got to tighten that guy up every once in a while. So, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with the instrument. That's just what happens. Tuning, maintaining. I'm also a fan of the tunable drums, no matter what, unless it's a traditional drum like Ake have the darbuka, which has a glued-on head. Traditionally, that's one of the ways that they're made, so that's fine. But with a conga-style drum or bongo-style drum, I really get the tunable ones, because first of all, you have more choices, but then the students learn how to tune the drum. Don't send your elementary kids to middle school where they're going to have congas and bongos, and maybe they've just played on tubanos that are non-tunable, and now they don't know how to tune the drum, because the middle school teacher is going to be looking at you going, how do your students not know how to tune the drum, you know? So, you know what I mean? Just help them learn how to do those basic things that they're going to need. Oh, are you? How did you get me? Let me see. Okay. Okay, there we go.
No, but you're absolutely right. I think that's just as important, maintaining your instrument, because not just that, you're respecting the instrument as well. You know, you got to respect your investment. You got to respect all that, you know, and oftentimes there's people that neglect their instruments and untune it the wrong way, tune it the wrong way, store it the wrong way, and then they're like, oh, these drums are bad. I'm like, no, you didn't take care of it, you know. So you have to take care of, you know, I'm one person that likes to take care of the things that I purchased, you know, and I think that's extremely important, especially when you're sharing it with others.
Very important. Like my teacher used to say about the sound too. He said it's not the car, it's the driver.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to have the group. I hosted a workshop here in LA one time with Los Papines.
Oh, wow.
Which was crazy. Yeah, that was insane. So they were in town. It's Cuban, Afro-Cuban, world famous. Anyway, I have a recording of that somewhere. I have an interview I did with them, and I'll try to find it and put it on the channel. But one of the things they said was, and they weren't bragging, but the guy was saying, you know, we could play on a trash can and people will dance, because it's not about what we're playing, it's about the music that's coming out. And he said we can play on anything.
Yep.
And it wasn't, they weren't boasting, they were just saying the truth, you know. Didn't matter what instrument you handed them, that you'd be dancing if they started playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at the end of the day, folks, I mean, whether you have skin on skins or Moperks or you know, Minels or Tycoon, or you just got something out of Craigslist and you don't even know what it is, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
just start. That's all that matters, is just start. There's some people like, Eric, I just bought some, you know, very, you know, cheap entry level drums and the sound isn't coming. I'm like, forget the sound.
Yeah.
Learn what you're gonna do, and make sure you're passionate about learning it, because then eventually you can build to getting, you know, certain things. These are just tools. You got to learn how to use the tools first.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I'll go, just to make a point, I'll be working with a group of kids or teachers, and I'll say, point to where the music comes from.
Yeah.
Point to where the music comes from, right? And of course, it's a little bit of a trick question, because what they want them to do is do this.
Yeah.
Right? The music comes from you. It doesn't come from the instrument. So I also think, you know, now we could get into, we don't have time for this whole conversation, but back, and I am sort of old now. So back when I started, all we had available were the handmade crafted drums, right? Mm-hmm. There was no such thing as a China-made or Thailand-made conga drum. Yeah, there was no Indonesian. There was no Siam oak.
Yeah.
Which is rubber wood, by the way. That's what they call rubber wood. So drums were expensive. My first Valgi, I bought one drum. I started with one conga drum. Cost me $380 roughly for one drum. Now Valgi, awesome, handmade. Oak
and that was back then, right? So
that was in '82.
So that lease is like a $700-800 drum, maybe $900 drum today.
Right. Wow. Think about that, folks. Think about that for a second. $800, $900 to get one conga drum. You can go to Guitar Center today and buy a set of 2 drums with a stand for $120. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, but So I think I'm just gonna say I'm a little old school in it that it's okay. But I think we people need to kind of, yeah, start with something cheap and then sort of feel like I need to earn a good drum. I need to earn my way up. I need to like get my skills together, so I deserve
Yeah.
to play that nice drum. You know, you could think of it that way.
Yeah.
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 Grow into it. Anything we need to do to wrap up? I know we're running a little bit over, but
It's okay, man. We're good.
yeah. All right. We got a couple questions. Oh, Deborah, you had a drum you wanted to show? Oh, okay. So can you see Deborah's screen there, Eric?
Hold
He's
on, let me
saying, do you
see.
know what drum that is?
Yeah. I don't.
Is that like a gathering drum or something?
Wow.
Can you bring it closer to the camera, Deborah? Are you over there?
Oh, it's a screen. It's a screen.
Oh, it's a screen. Oh, sorry.
Interesting. I just got this picture this morning. It is as big as a coffee table. So that I was thinking gathering drum too, Kalani. I just wondered what you might think.
Oh, okay.
That looks amazing.
They're wanting to switch lessons out for it. So I've asked them how heavy it is. If it's too heavy, I don't know that I could carry it around everywhere.
Is it wood? And is it like is it rope tuning? Is it wood? What else is it?
Yeah, it's wood and some kind of skin on top. Yeah.
It looks similar to a drum I have, which was designed by my buddy Dave Holland, which they called a circle drum, and it was made by the Mountain Rhythm people. I don't know if it's the same.
It's actually my plumber, Larry Sanders. He found it next to the curb. So he's had it at his house.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Well, every drum is a good drum, depending on how
Yeah.
you use it. Oh, okay. All right. Good. Are we good, Deborah? Okay. Thank you. So Raymond said, can we get a sweet off the floor solo from Eric?
Oh my gosh.
Putting you on the spot now.
All right, sure. I'll do something on the quinto. I don't know. I don't know if the mic is too hot, but I'll try to back up.
Yeah. Are you on carpet there? What do you? So you
So-
have wood.
No, so I have a rug on top of a rug, or carpet and a rug on top of the carpet. But I play on like these serving trays.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
so it kind of helps for the sound. It lifts it up enough, but
Oh, your video's paused. Come on, internet. Oh, there we go.
oh, all right. Okay, so let me know if it's a little bit too hot.
Okay. Are you on? Okay, do you have original sound on? Try to turn your original sound on. Do you know where that is? On the audio?
Let's see.
If you go to audio settings,
Yep.
and then you want to go to high quality music mode and and all that. Otherwise, it's gonna cut out the audio when you start playing music. The volume's kind of low now.
Lowered it. Let me see.
Okay, yeah, maybe split the difference.
Yeah, let's see now.
There we go.
There you go. All right. Thing I love about Zoom, it shows you the levels, man.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, all right, let's try this out. Let's see
I
if
think that's good. Yeah, it's cutting out though. So let's get it. I think I don't know if we. I don't want to have you stressing out about your audio settings, but if you got to be in high quality music mode, and then you have to turn on original sound.
all right,
Otherwise,
let's
it's
see.
the background noise software it tries to suppress background noise, and then it chops the sound off whenever people try to play music.
Huh.
So what you want to see in the upper left corner is turn off original sound. It should say turn off original sound, or if you have an option to turn on original sound.
What if? Yeah, because I have it on high quality now.
Okay. And then when you go to your main screen, up in the corner, does it say turn off original sound or turn on original sound? Up in the upper left.
No. Automatically. No. It's wrong. Echo cancellation. All right. What about now? Is that better?
I don't think so. Sorry. I think, yeah, sorry. I think we're going to have to get set up for music and do another one of these. But that
I'm
gives
okay
us
with
an
that.
excuse.
I'm definitely okay with that.
Yeah, that gives us an excuse to set up another or do a jam. But you know what, you guys? You can go to Eric's channel and see him. Which you ought to do anyway. We got to wrap up though, man. Eric, thank you so much, man. Thank you.
No, thank you guys for tuning in, and it was fun. It's fun to talk to you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Love to get your perspective, and thank you so much for all the good stuff that you're putting out on A Percussion Life channel, and the information, but the humor, and you know it's really cool. I love it. I just can't say enough good things about it.
Oh man, I'm grateful to be part of this community. I'm grateful from learning from you, man. So it's awesome, and I'm glad that you're so welcoming to help everybody with this community. So it's awesome.
I'm happy to do it. Like we've all been saying, we got to support each other, and we have to,
Yeah.
and we're a small community. Our
Yeah.
crazy drummer people, we're like pretty fringe. So
Yep.
I think it's great, and so I'm looking forward to doing more, and let's do some collaborations. And again, thanks to all the patrons, you guys for supporting the World Drum Club channel. And hey, how do people support your channel, Eric? Besides just watching the videos, do you got
Nope.
any
Just
no
watch the
tip
video,
jar
guys.
thing? Nothing. Okay.
Nah, no. No, I mean like I have other ways that people reach out to me in regards to, they'll see something and want more elaboration, and I can't take private lessons right now, not just because of the pandemic. It's just timing with everything. But I do like video lessons, like
Mm-hmm.
personalized video lessons. So I tell them, just send me a clip of you playing. What do you want to learn? And then I literally make a video, send it to them with 5 or 6 different lessons to really help them, out. So it's like literally a little course just for you. I do that. But aside from that, I've thought about doing a Patreon and things like that, but it's just it's really hard to manage everything right now, and I don't know how you do it, but it's something that I've thought about, but for the time being, I just love sharing the little bit that I know on the channel. So
Awesome. Well, thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to sign off. Thank you, Eric. Thanks, everybody, for joining, and we'll see y'all next time.
all right, bye guys.
Bye-bye.